Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about tension. Now, this isn't the tension that you get when you're stressed or there's a deadline or, whatever. It's the tension that you can add into your marketing that will compel your audience to respond. So, I'm going to come back in a moment to the story that really started me thinking about tension. I had an experience some years ago, and that made me realize that tension was a really powerful thing to add into your marketing. But what is tension? So if we think about when we watch TV nowadays, we binge watch shows, and you may well recognize that you get to an end of an episode and you want the answers to everything, and the very clever writers will no doubt leave you on a cliffhanger and force you to come back to the next episode. That's all about building tension and all about building the excitement and telling the story and keeping you engaged. Now that's no different when we look at marketing and using tension through the marketing that we create. So how do we create tension in the marketing that we put out? So first, imagine painting a picture in your artwork, in the visual elements that you put into your marketing campaigns, whether that be on the website or in a social media campaign. Think about trying to create something that causes an emotional response and adds a little bit of uneasiness to what's in the visual. That is a really good starting point for tension. So then to add a bit more tension in, you've got to raise the stakes. So what problem are you trying to solve? What problem have you put in front of your audience that makes them feel uneasy, that they relate to, and how do you make them feel uncomfortable about its existence? How do you solve that problem? Okay, so we're going to take you through the 4 steps to tension. Now this could be tension in a YouTube video, it could be tension in advertising in any shape or form in your marketing. So ultimately, first point, highlight the problem. Second point, introduce the stakes. Third point, tease the solution. And fourth point, create a sense of urgency. So what does all that mean? So point 1, as I said, is about highlighting the problem. So in your advert, imagine showing something that has a problem in it. So a customer can relate to that problem. If they can understand and see themselves in that image that they're looking at, then they understand what you're trying to communicate to them. They understand it's for them. And if that image itself it has a little bit of emotion in it and tension in it, then that ultimately adds to the importance and the power of that advert. So then you add in the pain that they may be suffering from as an individual or, the target in the audience. And then if you can show a solution that you can provide that solves that pain and relates to them, then you're giving them the solution. And I suppose the tension comes is when you pay off by showing them how to go about purchasing that product or that solution to resolve their pain. So how does that relate to my story? Well, I was asked to get involved with a window display many moons ago. And that window display was for a competition. It was for a company selling, cookware. Now, we went in the dead of night to set up the window. We had a theme for it, and it was all about like a storm in a teacup. So we created this scene that included all of the items in the window as if they'd been blown in a storm. And to create an incredible amount of tension, what I did was balance a mug on the edge of the display with another mug on the floor that had been broken. So people would look in that window and they'd see the broken mug, they'd see the mug on the edge, and the tension from that mug balanced precariously on the edge caused so many people to walk into that shop and say, do you realise that you've got a mug that's broken in the window and another one's going to fall? The tension that people got from looking in that window was incredible. They did exactly what a window display should do, which is encourage people to come into the shop. Now, that is a very basic approach, and it's a very visual approach to it, and it's going to be difficult for you to necessarily recognise how you manage to kind of bring that kind of tension into a campaign or whatever. But ultimately, you've got to think about that. You've got to think about how to create a feeling within an advert or a campaign that puts people, makes them feel uncomfortable or causes a reaction that will cause them to engage with you as a business. So hopefully you enjoyed that today. A little bit unusual, a little bit of a kind of visual gimmick, but if you're interested in finding out more about what we have to offer from a marketing sense and more of our videos, then please subscribe and click the little icon wherever it is nowadays, and we'll make sure that we create content for you. If you'd like us to focus on a particular area or a particular subject, then please do put it in the comments below. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more about Nexus, or you'd like to work with us, then we've left our contact details in the description below. Please do reach out. We're always sort of open, even if you want to kind of collaborate with